In this video, we're going to solve the exponential equation 9 to the y minus 4 equals 15 for y. Now, in order to get the y by itself, we first of all have to get it out of the exponent. And to be able to get it out of the exponent, what we're going to do is we're going to take the log or the natural log, whichever one you prefer, of both sides of the equation. And I'll kind of talk to you through this as to why that's going to bring the exponent down. So whenever we take the natural log, it is going to bring the y minus 4, be sure you put that in parentheses, out front. And then you'll just have the natural log of 9, and that's going to be equal to the natural log of 15. And the reason that that works out is because it's taking advantage of the power property of logarithms. Anytime you have the natural log or the common log or any logarithm of some expression that has an exponent, you can use that power property to bring the exponent out front. And it just makes it a coefficient. And so that's exactly what we want to do here, because now the 9, even though it's still stuck inside of a parentheses, is at least out of the exponent, and so we can just use our previous algebra knowledge to solve for this. So in order to get y outside of the exponent now, what we're going to do is we're going to distribute the natural log of 9 to both of those terms. And so the natural log of 9 multiplied by y will just be y natural log of 9 minus, and then 4 natural log of 9 comes from multiplying the negative 4 and of course the natural log of 9. And that's going to equal the natural log of 15. And so now the only term with a y in it is this first term right here, and so we need to isolate that term, and then we'll worry about dividing. And so in order to isolate that term, we're going to add 4 natural log of 9 to both sides. And what that's going to do is that's going to, on the left hand side, cancel out that term right there, leaving us with y times the natural log of 9 on the left-hand side is equal to the natural log of 15 plus 4 times the natural log of 9 on the right-hand side. And so now the only thing keeping us from having y completely by itself is it's being multiplied by the natural log of 9, which is just a number. And so we can divide both sides of this equation by the natural log of 9. And that's going to give us our answer. And so y is equal to the natural log of 15 plus 4 times the natural log of 9 divided by the natural log of 9. And that's going to be our answer. Now the answer is not really pretty, but if you wanted to or needed to get a decimal approximation, you could just put all that into your calculator. Now you'd want to be really careful doing it. Be sure that you put parentheses around that whole, the whole numerator, the natural log 15 plus 4 ln 9, and then divide it by the natural log of 9 if you want to throw it all in your calculator at once. But just to give you an idea, rounded to 4 decimal places, this would be approximately 5.2325. And like I said, I rounded that to 4 decimal places. So whichever one you need. If you don't have to have a decimal approximation, I would just leave it, in the slightly more complicated form. There's no reason to do extra work unless you have to. But if you do need to do it, just be careful putting in your calculator. Be sure you match up to this, and that'll be the process you need to use.